Welcome to this live feed. How are we? Hoping everybody's very well. Trying to get some stability here in the microphone. So, the basics. We neglect the basics in life. We neglect the simple things in life. We forget how important it is to just be in the moment, in the physical. Now, this is a very layered conversation. It's a layered subject matter, and it's quite interesting. And whilst it's not super complex by any means, in fact it's about the simplicity of life, it can be complex because of the way we look at life, the way we interact with life, the way we present ourselves to life. So when we're asking ourselves, what are the simple things that matter in life, and how can we just get some base enjoyment? See, sometimes we look to life and we look to our own experiences and we complicate life, we complicate our experiences. We forget how simple life can be. We forget how easy life can be. We forget that we can actually find simple pleasures and basic connection to what is easy, what is an ease of access. Let me give you an example. Have you ever had that feeling just before you sneeze? And just before you sneeze, you take a breath in and you observe life. And in that moment, it's like it's the best way to explain it is that it's almost like you're about to explode or implode, and then this release comes. It's amazing. And we find similar releases in varied activities. Sneezing is one of them. Going to the toilet is another. Sexuality or sexual intercourse is another. Being physical, grounding, playing sport, for example, exercising, moving the body. These are activities that they are releasing activities. Hey Natalie, how are you? We release tension in the body and in the mind when we engage, or when we're even more conscious and aware of these very simple activities. Again, let me revert back to sneezing. Let me revert back to sexuality. Let me revert back to going to the toilet. Imagine you need to go to the toilet. You need to urinate, and your bladder is full. And you're holding, and then you go to the toilet. And then imagine, we don't have to imagine it because you do it every day. How good does that feel? How healthy does it feel, that tension being released from the body? Denise, how are you? And see, this is what we don't understand, and we don't pay enough attention to this, to the simplicities of life. We lose our ability to pay attention to more complex areas of life. You see, trauma is not held so much in the mind. It is, but it's more in the nervous system. Matt, how are you, brother? Trauma that we experience, pain, fear, discomfort, difficulties that we experience is locked into the nervous system. It's locked into the hardware of our body. Jada, how are you? Hey, Jada, I'll be seeing you soon. I'm coming to Melbourne in, Wednesday afternoon. Yes, we'll talk though, of course. Hopefully you're in Melbourne, you have some time, we can connect. So back to trauma. So trauma is locked into the nervous system. And the only way we can really release trauma is that we can talk about it, and we can verbalize it, and we can add verbiage to our direct experience, our physiological experiences. But to release trauma, it's about releasing it from the nervous system. And yeah, I'm very excited, Jada. And releasing trauma from the nervous system entails us being in the physical body, entails us moving physically. Now, it's more than just exercising. It's more than just moving. There's a deliberate intent that has to take place, of course. There's a particular sequence or series of events and deliberate processes that take place. And it's a lot more orchestrated than this. But pain, experiences that have traumatized us, that cause us discomfort and disdain, reside in the nervous system. They're locked into the nervous system. And to release this tension, we have to get into the body. Now, obviously, when we're doing trauma release work, any form of trauma release work, it's more complex. There's a lot more involved. But here's an interesting thing. The more we practice learning to release tension in the body, and we're aware of that, and we're accustomed to that, and we're conscious of that, the more adept we'll become at tapping into our body's innate wisdom, at connecting to the body. So being aware, consciously aware, using our mind to be very aware to what the body is feeling, what the body is saying to us, how the body is speaking and connecting and communicating to us. So we can use these very, very simple techniques. We can use these very simple practices that we engage in daily anyway. We all go to the toilet. Well, I'd hope we all go to the toilet every day. Most of us will sneeze. You know, we might get some dust in the air once, twice a week or once a month, or whatever it is. Doesn't matter anyway. But we all sneeze. We all go to the toilet. Yeah. We all are thirsty. We have a drink of water and we quench that thirst. And if you feel that water moving through your body, how do you feel releasing that tension in the body, that tension of thirst, needing to quench your thirst? Even when we're hungry, think about this for a moment. You're very, very hungry, and then you satisfy yourself and you eat, and there's a relaxation that takes place in the nervous system, in the digestive system, in the brain, in the mind, in the emotional body. So when we begin to pay attention to these simple pleasures that we can engage in, and I'm not insinuating for a moment that we become hedonistic materialists in any means, in any capacity. What I'm saying is, though, that we have this gift of the physical body. You see, so many of us in the realm of spirituality, we place this grand importance on being spiritual, on the spirit, on the immaterial, on the soul, and on the evolution of spirit being far more profound than the physical body, being far more profound than the material world. The reality is, though, we wouldn't experience the immaterial without experiencing having the vessel and the body of the material. Having this physical vessel, this physical body to experience life from, to be able to contemplate a deeper sense of self, a deeper understanding of who we are, to be able to contemplate new ideas, varied levels of consciousness, and so forth. And it works both ways. Like, is it? You know, here's something interesting that I was speaking to yesterday with a friend of mine. Is it our soul that animates our body, or our spirit that animates our body, or is it our body that animates our soul? I would say that it's both. So when we are able to engage in the simple activities, this engagement process, this awareness process, deliberate intention that we set. So as you're sneezing, feel that sneeze, that tension building, and then releasing. I use sneezing as an example because it's I just think it's a good example. And I just personally, I fucking love sneezing. I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes. Fuck, don't like mosquitoes. But I'm going to engage in the physical process. I've been bitten by mosquitoes, and at some point I'll release tension later. So these simple activities, this eating, drinking water. You know, I was in the mountains recently and hadn't had a shower for like 6 days, and that having a shower was just beautiful. It was phenomenal. It was an amazing feeling of just release and rest and reprieve. Sometimes when I'm exercising a great deal and with an intention, and I'm going for longevity in that session, in that movement session, and it's not that I can't wait for it to be over. I'm very immersed in that moment. But when it is over, there's a deep breath and release. And in that release, like I feel more empowered. I feel deeper empowered. I feel deeper connected to the body in so many different ways. So there's an opportunity for us to engage fully. Jada, honestly, I'm just going to go out there and say this. I fucking love sneezing. I think it feels so fucking good to sneeze. Lana, so if you can pay attention to that, there's tremendous release that is coming through that, yeah? It's a beautiful feeling. Love sneezing. Love quenching my thirst. Like, I'm really thirsty right now, so I'm going to go grab a drink in a moment when I finish this live feed. And it is an amazing feeling. And it's the same for men when they... So, well, I'll speak for men because I'm a man, I suppose, but even though I can't still speak for all men, but when men orgasm, ejaculation, not ejaculation, when men ejaculate, there's this complete feeling of tension just releasing, just completely releasing. And we just soften so much. Now, I'm not going to get into, because this isn't a live feed for that, into the esoteric meaning of ejaculation the philosophical constructs of ejaculation, the spiritual context of ejaculation or ejaculation. Just speaking from a very simple physical perspective, yeah? We have this capacity to connect to our body and practice this being in the body. We have this, and when we're in the body, we can feel what needs to be released or what needs to be attended to. And in that space of attending to who we are, and if we choose, hi Linda, how are you? Yeah, it's awesome, Lana. If we choose to release what we are experiencing, there's a parallel drawn from that activity, that experience, to the experience of our psyche, our emotional body. Releasing and letting go of things, experiences, relationships, ideas, beliefs that no longer serve us, because we're practicing it in the realm of the physical, in the realm of the tangible. The physical and the tangible is an easy place to begin. This is why we have this physical vessel, this physical body, because it's very clear to be connected to this body. There are so many intricate physiological processes that are taking place to allow us to be aware of ourselves moving through time and space. This is amazing, absolutely amazing. What does Carol say? Oh no. Oh, of course, Carol. But still, it's release, right? So it's still release. To some degree, it's good. It's still release. So this release that can take place, right? It's a metaphor and a parallel, but it's a physical activity that just feels good. Like, it has intrinsic value in and of itself. Just connect to just letting go. Sneezing, having a drink of water, breathing in. Like, hold your breath for as long as you can and take a deep breath in. And exhale. Oh, mosquitoes. I don't like mosquitoes. I don't really like cockroaches. I don't see the value in them. I really don't like mosquitoes. I don't know why they're here. Like, I don't know what evolutionary contribution they make to this world. I really don't. I'd like to know. Someone enlighten me and evolve my understanding there, but I don't like them. Anyway, on a tangent. So connect to the physical body. Connect to the simplicity of life. Connect to the basics, because in these basics, it is a beautiful opportunity to understand self and know self with a greater context, with greater clarity, with greater purposefulness for who one is. And I use the example of sneezing because I personally just enjoy sneezing. But you can use it for any of the other examples that I've given. And next time you're having sex, next time you are engaged in that process, in that intimate process, or whether it's sex with yourself or sex with another, maybe it's with your beloved, maybe it's a casual encounter, maybe it's someone you care about, maybe it's another set of circumstances, I don't know. But connect to the body. What is happening in the body? What is happening to you in how you're interpreting the movement that is occurring? Is there release occurring? What does that release feel like? How does that release serve you? This is a very powerful opportunity for us to grow openly. And again, the metaphor, the parallels drawn. This is the important part. The parallels drawn through this physical activity that we're engaging in and that we're aware of and that we are attentive to. It is a metaphor for the release, psycho-emotional and spiritual release in other areas of our lives where we're holding tension, where we're holding pain and fear, where we're locked down and rigid in our understanding of the world, in the ideas that we have, in how we think and feel, and how we behave, how we express, how we interact interpersonally in relationship. This is very important for us to understand. And when we begin to allow ourselves the practice of release and the practice of letting go, the practice of being non-attached, life changes dramatically. We begin to view life very, very differently in so many different areas. Sharon, how are you? So I want you to practice this, please. If you feel called to it, practice being more aware of your body. Maybe practice you're asleep. This is an attention thing. Like, you're doing all of this anyway. This is about being attentive and moving with a deliberate intention. You've been laying down, so you've been sleeping for 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. And in those 6, 7, 8 hours, you've been laying down. When you wake up, feel how your body feels. muscles moving, walking? Are you sore? Are you releasing? Do you feel this lightness in your body? Or maybe you've been on your feet all day, or maybe you've been moving all day and you lay down. How do you feel? What release is taking place? Are you attentive to that release? Is it serving you? And if so, how is it serving you? I know it's a very simple conversation, but sometimes simple is good. I have a tendency to get really complex. So rather than getting complex and convoluted, I wanted to just speak to the simplicity of life. Sneezing, sex, drinking water when we are thirsty, eating food when we are hungry, resting and relaxing when we're fucking tired. This is really important. Getting a massage and feeling the release. Mickey, how are you? So this is powerful for us if we allow this to transpire. So don't negate the small things. Don't miss out on life because we aren't engaged in the physical. Remember, the spirit animates the physical and the physical vessel animates the spirit. It works both ways. It's not one or the other. I really don't believe that. Happy and very open to discussing something else, of course, as well. And Carol, that's absolutely right. We're talking about connecting to the physical in any way. We are speaking to being creative, and we are speaking to being in flow. We are speaking, and literally the psychological concept of flow. We are speaking to being immersed in the present moment. And that's what also paying attention to these physical nuances of the body does. Very powerful for us, very powerful. So I urge you to experiment with this in terms of moving with a deliberate intention and paying attention to self, and experimenting, like sneezing differently, experiment having sex differently, experiment moving your body differently, experiment being present to what is occurring in the physical body and even in the mind as you're moving through the physical body in the here and the now. That present moment awareness is really, really powerful. So I want to wish you many, many blessings on your journey. The next week or so, I'm traveling through Australia. So Melbourne on Wednesday, I'm there for a couple of days. Brisbane on Friday, I'm there for a couple of days. I'm speaking to one of my service offerings, Spirit of the Mountains, where we go deep into personal growth in the mountains. And I'll be, of course, in New Zealand as well, Auckland, Wellington and Wanaka. And then back into Sydney as well for a few days. So I'll be in Sydney like June 1st to June 4th as well. So yes, Nigel, see you soon, brother. If you're around at these events, you'll be able to see them on my Facebook page. It'd be lovely to see you, of course. If not, I'll see you again very soon, and I'll see you for the next live feed. And many, many blessings again on your day today, on your evening, wherever you are in the world, whenever you're watching this. Practice sneezing, practice having sex, practice moving through the world just differently, yeah? And listen to your body. Begin to pay more attention to your body, and your body will give you a biofeedback. It will give you feedback into what you need. And when you gain what you need from who you are, you become clearer and you become more spacious within yourself. You become more open-minded, open-hearted, open in your communication and connection, the way you relate to others. That changes the entire dynamic of who you are and what you receive from the world, but also what you give to the world. Now, how fucking beautiful is that? That is amazing. All comes from paying attention to the physical body. It's not negating the spirit or the immaterial, the unknown or the unseen, but it is valuing who we are in the present moment. Many, many blessings once again. Lots of love. Thank you for being here. Share this video if it resonates. Please share this video if it resonates. Any questions you have, ask them in the comment section and I'll get back to them. Thank you, Nicola. Thank you so much. Lots of love. Bye, guys.